It doesn't feel as natural or...
Yeah, if you're not Shotas, don't even try it. Come back.
It doesn't feel anywhere
Y'all
as
at the
natural
mark
or
for
organic
death.
as
Get
not.
that right. Redo those accents. Double them in.
It feels definitely more...
What's a guan? Like, see, if I sound better than those guys,
No,
get this over.
I'm not going to say... I don't know if those guys are really Jamaican or not. I'm not going to say that.
If you have to question it, you're not Jamaican.
Look, there's a lot of Jamaicans out there.
Yes.
Gathered together from the cosmic reaches of the universe, here in this great hall of justice, are the most powerful forces of good ever assembled. Dedicated to truth, justice, and peace for all mankind.
Welcome, everybody. It's Spinnerack in the house. Once again, we got Petey here. And in the Fortress of Solitude, we got our man, Cal. He's hanging out there.
Calvin Miller's ready to rock.
Regenerating. So here, today we're talking about the man himself, Luke, Sweet Christmas Cage. He's back on Netflix.
In this corner is Luke, Sweet Christmas Cage. I'm gonna give you an overview of this story right now. Now, when Power Man and Iron Fist first hooked up, this was the storyline that put them together. But the only there seems like there might be many differences because the Daughters of Dragons were already put together outside of Iron Fist. Iron Fist and Misty Knight were separated, and obviously in this story they're not together yet.
And probably will never be.
But in Iron Fist, Misty Knight goes as her alter ego, Maya. I guess her name is Maya Holiday, and she goes and meets the Bushmaster, becomes his concubine, as his main girl to, figure him out. She beats the hell out of him, and then she runs off, and then obviously the Bushmaster wants Misty Knight taken out. And since Luke Cage is a hero for hire, he calls Luke Cage in, and he takes out Colleen Wing, who you've seen in Iron Fist, goes after Misty. That gets Iron Fist all mad. There's this big fight, and then they team up to stop the Bushmaster, who we find out has powers. Now they're doing that this season. They have the Bushmaster, but I don't know if they have all that backstory, but there is a big fight. And the Bushmaster looks a little bit like, maybe like Chris Rock's father. But
yes, he does.
But we know something's going to happen. We know he's going to, Luke Cage, and this is comic book, so Luke Cage is going to get his comeuppance right now. And then, of course, Stephen A. Smith says that, it's hard to see, a good brother like that take a hit. So I'm going to pass it off to Mario and Cal. Hook it up. What do we got here?
Yeah, so I'm going to tell you the episode we've been watching is pretty interesting. We just did an initial impression of what we've thought of so far of the show. We'll do a more in-depth in another show. Cal, what did you think of your first impressions of the show?
Did you know that Luke Cage is black?
Sweet Christmas. That's
you
not what I was
gave
thinking
gave it to him. You gave him the floor.
I did.
So
let me put that.
I thought we dealt with all of this last season, where I'm still seeing the same stuff again. I'm like, oh goodness, we know these characters again. Do we still need these reminders? Like, okay,
we don't know that he's black without these reminders.
You sure?
I know they hit you over the head with it. That's the problem.
What is it? There were a couple of things I just found funny because supposedly they have the Jamaican gangs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And none of those guys can do a Jamaican accent. None of them. You can hear them slipping back into their regular, normal American accent when they're trying to do it. I was like, why doesn't this there's no Jamaican actors? It can't be that difficult of an accent to do. I said, I guess it is.
Wait a second. Are you saying that this is like Steven Seagal, Mark for Death? You know that was big in the black community with Mark for Death.
Those accents are worse than if I tried to do it. We were like, hey, man, you bumbleclot. It's terrible.
Lord of mercy.
It's supposed to be, it's supposed to be a Jamaican accent. And I think a lot of people just believe any West Indian or any Caribbean accent is good enough to be a Jamaican accent.
And I think,
anyway, right?
I think for most people, it will pass, I mean,
if you're saying all the stuff that black people know that this is a black show, you got to get the accents right.
Come on, man. Give them a pass, bro. You know. If
Aside
they really
from
wanted Jamaican actors and they wanted good actors and cheap actors, they would have went to England like they do for everything else and get actors, okay?
Lord. This
They imported them in.
isn't Mark for Death. I use Mark for Death again. We can't get away with that again.
Well,
with
they're getting away.
Screwface?
They're getting away with it, and the accents are not that bad. Come on, Cal, give me a bat. You know.
They're bad. They're not horrible, but they're bad. So I'm looking at this. I'm like, okay. I'm giving them the pass. I know they got to do the checklist. I know we got to check off all the stuff. Drugs, crime, police, all this other type of stuff. We have to have the stuff. They said the N-word more times, I think, in this one episode than they did in the whole
sure
of
did.
last season. I'm like, okay, I get it. I get it. Now, can we get into some story? Now, once we get into some actual story, I'm like, okay, there's some stuff that I am looking forward to seeing. I wanted to see more of the dynamic between Luke and his father, what exactly that was all going to be about. I liked the introduction of Bushmaster until I realized that Bushmaster should not be any match for Luke Cage because Luke himself was already a pit fighter in prison. So this should be like just a stead, even fight. So if they fight, Luke should be okay. But they're not going to do that because they keep telegraphing that, Luke everybody thinks that Luke is tough and he's invulnerable and nothing can hurt him. So of course we got to throw something at him that can hurt him because even the Judas bullet's not hurting him any longer. So we got to throw something at him now, of course, to try to give him somebody to fight. But then that kind of contradicts what we got in the last episode in the first season because you could have gave him this guy to fight instead of him fighting what was it, Copperhead?
Mm-hmm. Yes, yeah.
Instead of him fighting him with the gun and the suit and all that other type of stuff. That being said, once you get past the first episode, the dynamic between him and Claire is good. They introduced Iron Fist, and it's pretty good. I hate Misty's robotic arm. Just make it look like a normal arm.
Yes. Yeah.
Wait, hold on. They haven't.
It looks horrible.
Yeah.
No, she doesn't start with a big mechanical arm
it
and then it's not supposed to develop. It's not supposed to develop.
Yes, it will
It
develop.
never did that. You can literally do the same thing that you did in Star Wars with Luke Cage and Luke Skywalker and his his robotic hand, where you showed him like testing it out, and then after that it's closed up. You never see it again.
Yes.
Unless it's damaged or something, we don't need to know that he has this hand. And even then, we saw it was damaged. What did he do? He put a black glove over it. That's the end of it. We're done with that. But other than that, to be honest, so far, I think they've improved a lot on what they did the first season. I think they have improved a lot on what they did the first season. They're still making some of the same errors they did, but a lot of the stuff, it's nice to see some of the characters from the first season come back, be developed, go forward, go further in their storylines. Alfre Woodward's storyline with Black Mariah, I think, is very good of her trying to get out, but we all know that when you're in the business, you can't get out. They won't let you out. So we see how those things play together. And Mike Coulter is definitely growing into the role. Claire is good without that nonsense I saw in the last one where she's putting on Shuko and nunchucks and fighting ninja. She's pretty much doing that, the role that she has over there. Some things I think are a little bit too much, like naming every episode after a Pete Rock and CL Smooth song, maybe a little bit too much.
I don't think that's a problem.
You're force fitting it.
Yeah, I don't think that's a problem.
I think they shouldn't do it.
In the episodes you have, the music is huge. They put in acts almost every what is it called? Harlem's Paradise.
Yeah, I think that's too much as well. I mean, I understand what they're trying to do, and they're trying to hearken to certain staples. But if you're going to do that, what was the show? New York Undercover?
Yeah.
And in New York Undercover, they would always have like the nightclub where they would go in there and hear the music. The music, for the most part, was good, or they had contemporary stuff going on. This right over here feels like it's some throwbacks to older films, and so they're homaging stuff, but the quality isn't there. Or, i.e., I don't like the song. So if you're going to do it, at least give me music that I can vibe with. Other than that, I don't want to see it. And then it becomes the same thing. It's only one type of music. It's only one type of music I'm hearing, and then it becomes a typecast black show. This is the type of music you're going to hear. Black people listen to all types of music. You can throw some more music in there.
I don't know. I kind of disagree with that comment because
before let's get you hear your overview. So you want to get into a heavy debate. Let's get into over music. What did you think of the show?
Always trying to bring the brother down.
Lord.
Look, I thought the show, as always, is basically following the same format as the last time it came out. There are some problems.
That didn't sound like it was going to be good.
Luke Cage, for me, still is not I don't feel him to be the man. I don't feel him to be the presence that I felt him in the comic book. On the other hand, is Mike Coulter doing a good job? I think he's doing a good job of what he has. They are hitting us over the head with the Black Power stuff constantly over and over and over and over again. Yes, I do feel that. But there's some characters I think are rising above. Black Mariah is fantastic. Claire is very good at what she's doing. I like Shade. Shades have been one of my favorite characters from the very beginning. You know, what he's planning and what he's doing, you know, it's more than just the story. I like Black Mariah's story. She's also doing something with her family, which is very interesting. But the Jamaican aspect of it, I think, could have been executed much better. I think that Bushmaster coming in, I think is great. But the fact that it takes so long to develop this particular character, and this character, you don't have, they're trying to show him there's a reason why he's here. There's a reason why he came back and what he's going, and why he's going after Luke Cage. It's interesting, but I don't know if it's strong enough or engrossing enough for people to say, yeah, I got to sit down here and really watch this. You know, probably could be the actor who's doing it, and I think he's a fine actor, and it probably is just the way it's written.
I don't know. He looks too much like Chris Rock.
He looks like a harder Chris Rock. I like the Jamaican story aspect of it, but the way the Bushmaster gets his powers, I think, is really cool. I think the way they're showing it and how he evolves with it, and how he's able to tackle Power Man.
Well, let's go through, if we're going to deal with the accents, let's go from who's the top of the act. Is it Mark for Death the top? Then Tay Diggs in Stella Got a Groove?
Oh, no,
then
not Tay Diggs.
Then
No way.
Predator 2? And then lastly, is Power Man. That's the scale. You got to get, at least get to Tay Diggs.
No, Tay Diggs is like, I don't know if Tay Diggs can go out it.
It's not Mark for Death.
I think
it's not Mark for
I
Death.
think Power Man is further up.
you think Mark for Death is way bit higher than
Wait,
Power
how
Man.
does this go? Mark for Death is horrible or Mark for Death is good? What are you
Mark for Death is horrible, but as far as compared to Power Man, I don't know. Where do you put it?
Oh wait, let's look at a real Jamaican film like Shatters.
Okay,
All right,
here we go.
So if you look
know,
at
I can't even
Shatters,
put Shatters is that you can't go for Shatters. That's too high up.
it doesn't feel as natural or
Yeah, if you're not Shatters, don't even try it. Come back.
It doesn't feel anywhere.
Y'all
as
at the
natural
Mark
or
for
organic
Death.
as
Get
not.
that right. Redo those accents. Double them in.
It feels definitely more.
What's a guan? Like, see, if I sound better than those guys,
No,
get this over.
I'm not going to say. I don't know if those guys are really Jamaican or not. I'm not going to say that.
If you have to question it, you're not Jamaican.
Look, there's a lot of Jamaicans out there.
Yes.
There's a lot of Jamaicans.
They're
in the world.
Jamaicans.
And so when you
Somebody
do
yes,
Jamaicans,
somebody no. People want more hardcore. Yeah.
there's a lot of Jamaicans out there. So and some of them do a decent
The
accent.
accents are just not genuine, and you can tell because if this was most of the time, most people can't tell a Jamaican accent from, say, a Bayesian accent. So if you came and did a Bayesian accent and it was authentic, you'd probably be okay.
Yes.
You probably, as long as you keep in it. But I could hear guys flipping out of it because it's not something that they're used to, and it's not an easy accent to affect. At the end of the day, anyway, it's just not. It's like a Scottish accent where you have to be a little bit more bass in the voice and roll R's, and you can forget to do that, or you can just get tired of doing it at the end of the day. But that is something I've seen for so long when it comes to affecting a proper West Indian accent, especially a Jamaican accent at the end of the day, and not a deal breaker. It's more funny than anything else.
Well, look, I just want to put a note that there's no such thing as a West Indian accent for all those people from islands and send us hate mail and stuff like that. No. There's no such thing as we understand that, okay?
Well, okay.
So let's just,
I got a better assessment of what your accent is. Is it going to be Denzel and the Mighty Quinn, or is it going to be Robert Townsend? What's the name? You have Shatters, you got Denzel.
It doesn't even touch Shatters. It doesn't touch Shatters.
That's like asking me what's worse. Like what is it, the dog crap or the cat crap? They're both bad. They were both bad.
Is it enough to stop you from
Mighty Quinn, Denzel he killed it.
Listen, is it enough? Is the accent enough to stop you from watching the show? And the answer is no. Okay?
No.
Okay.
But the whole idea, this is still a review, and this is still some criticism. So they just take criticism where you're going to get the criticism where it's bad, and that part of it's bad.
Right, but I'm
You get
saying
good stuff
the
where it's
average
good.
person can't tell the difference between a Jamaican.
Oh my
and one
gosh!
of them. So I
Yes,
think
they
that's
can.
No,
When you're
they
watching-
cannot.
When you're watching Screwface and Mark, no, all right, sorry, I had to correct myself because there was many black, African American, Jamaican, Trinidadian, Haitian going to see Mark of a Death in New York City and loving it. So
Yes.
they allowed that to happen, and then we grew up.
Yeah, if
But-
you want to see a good, I think the last time I saw a film and the Jamaican accent was authentic, it was Predator 2 with Danny Glover. And there were these Jamaican guys, and they were killing this dude.
Right.
And the line he gave right over there, I was like, yeah, that's it. That's authentic from start to finish.
But they
And
also
I
had
have not seen
Geechee
one
Dan,
since.
though. They had Geechee Dan as one of the lead Jamaicans. That
There you
dude.
go. There you go. Is he still alive? Get him back. Get him back.
I don't know. I got to look at Geechee Dan again and see if his accent held up.
So I mean,
Altogether, to be quite honest, I thought that Black Lightning, the first season of Black Lightning, which was 13 episodes, was better than the first season of Luke Cage. I thought they pulled that together much more seamlessly, much more effortlessly. They were able to check their boxes, go on, do your character development, and there's all these dynamics going on that allowed it to be entertaining. Is he going to get back with his wife? How do his daughters react to having power? What's Gambi's secret? Who are these guys? You know, what is a real effective green light? There were all these things going on.
Tobias White. Don't try to
able to
go
keep it going.
past Tobias White.
I leave that for Mario because Mario loves the villain. So I leave that for him. Whereas with Luke Cage, I thought, because they decided to have that twist, if you wanted, where they killed off Cottonmouth. It's like, no, this is going to be the real villain. I was like, but I liked him.
yeah,
So
everybody likes
that pretty
Cottonmouth.
much- That pretty much ended a lot of the stuff, and I accepted it for what it was. This season, however, is a stronger season. The writing is better. The cohesiveness in terms of the plot and the subplots is better. There's a lot of stuff going on to be interested in. Everybody seems a lot more comfortable in their roles, especially. I have to give my hats off to Finn Jones' Iron Fist. A lot better. Everybody who gave him so much flack, and the explanation was, look, he didn't have enough time. They cut the budget because they were doing Defenders right after. Have a look at his portrayal of Iron Fist in Luke Cage as they're getting together the whole Heroes for Hire dynamic. And yes, this is right over. Again, it needed more time, more development, much better on all levels for me. And I get to geek out a bit because I get to see Heroes for Hire, which is one of my favorite comics.
And doesn't mean development as far as doing more shows. The shows that they did, they should have developed it. Most people say, oh no, they had to do this first before you get to the good
Right.
stuff. And it's like, no, if they did Iron Fist and put the time into it, it could have been developed there. But now we get it, and we're saying, but it's not, so people always say a cause and effect. They had to do you don't have to do a bad season to get to the good season. You do a good season, and the next one always would work.
You can't give somebody 3 weeks to look
Yes.
like a martial arts master at the end of the day, and then when he does it, you're going to come and scat on it. It was 3 weeks, and because you don't have that mastery that's necessary to do those things, you can't do the type of story, because a lot of it revolves around him being this martial arts master. So if you can't show him doing that, then you lose some of the stuff with the story. With Luke Cage, I just thought they were trying to check too many boxes, and that became more of an issue than the story. Here, they're still checking boxes, but the story is stronger. So I'm happy with it so far.
Well,
Last words.
hey, I can say I think it's something people should watch. I have to agree with Cal. I think Black Lightning definitely was a little stronger in terms of the overall story. But even though I'm not that crazy about Mike Holder as he doesn't represent to me the Power Man that I grew up with.
Yes.
He does do a more credible job to me than the Black Lightning lead.
Wait, what are you talking? No, he's gone too far the road. That's too much to talk about. That's a whole nother thing.
All right, so I'll stick it to. I'll rewind it. Watch the show. I'm giving it like a B minus. Boom. Is that
There
good for
we
you?
go. Yes, thank you.
Okay. Watch the show.
B minus.
B minus.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Man, that's kind of hard. Okay.
Yeah. That whole relationship issue that he was going on with Claire, I just got tired of it.
All right.
No, I can't get tired of it. I love Rosario Dawson.
Yeah,
No,
come
I love
on.
Rosario Dawson. I just got tired of that whole discussion. I think it was just something that they went through on the show, and I'm like, come on, this is something they could have dealt with in one episode, but it went over several episodes, and I thought that, if she's been dealing with heroes since.
I thought you were saying you were tired of her as the actress.
No, I think she's a great actress. In fact, she's extremely believable, and she's one of the strongest ones on set there. Especially her relationship with Colleen Wing. Her relationship with Colleen is great, and that brings the whole Danny, whatever his name is, into it.
That's the thing. The last thing would be the Marvel Universe might be losing Rosario. I say keep her.
How in the world are they
Do
losing her?
whatever you like. They think their contract is coming up, and they're not, jumping at the bit. If she gets another, she's been the glue in most of these things.
Yeah,
so
she's the
Marvel keep her. You have to keep her.
Yeah. So yeah, look, keep it up. I like the music. I love Shades. I like the way it's going. If they do the Heroes for Hire, I think that's going to be the way for it to. I think going forward, Cal, don't you think that's the way they should go?
We'll see.
I think that's the way.
see.
I think those two shows should just be combined. I think
I think we should get Daughters of the Dragon or
Yes.
Heroes
They're
for
not
Hire.
doing Daughters of the Dragon,
Yes.
man.
We could get Daughters of the Dragon, and they can get rid. We never need to see Jessica Jones again.
I wish that's a good idea.
I
like
kind
that.
of like Jessica Jones. So
the last season, to say as a former member, garbage.
Okay. So I guess
You know it was bad.
Spinner Rack
Out.
out.